I'm Clive. I'm Chief Financial Officer for Serabi Gold. We're a Brazilian-focused gold mining company. This morning, we've just released our financial results for the first 6 months of the year 2023.
Hi, Clive, good to see you. Been a while since we've spoken. Okay, the first half numbers out. What are the highlights?
Well, we'd already reported production, 16,500 ounces for the year, but I think the most pleasing thing from my perspective is the cash generation that we've achieved during that first 6-month period. We are sitting on a cash balance at the end of June of 13.3 million. And admittedly, a million of that, just a little less, is attributable to the joint venture we have with Vale, where they've advanced us funds for the exploration programs that we're doing under that exploration alliance. Notwithstanding that, cash generation, net cash position has improved by about $5 million, a bit over in the first 6 months of the year, which I think is very, very pleasing. And we're seeing costs coming down as well. We've got a reported LSE of just over $1,500, which is a $200 saving over the same period in 2022.
Right, okay. Well, I'll talk about the Vale bit in a second. I just want to sort of focus on these numbers. Obviously, and therefore the million that they've given you, we'll talk about that in a second as well. With regards to the cost coming down slightly, it's off the back of a sort of very tricky COVID and inflation period for you guys. And you look like you're on your way to kind of hit guidance for this year in terms of ounces. But what's holding you back in terms of being able to kind of move the production forward? Is that, I mean, things like we've talked in the past about licenses, outstanding relationships locally. I mean, how are things advancing on that front?
Well, as you know, Matthew, we did make an announcement earlier this year that we'd reached an agreement with the indigenous communities. They were happy with the project. Is going to bring good economic benefits to the region, to the local communities, including those indigenous communities. And so that, that has been an area of uncertainty for a lot of people. We've always felt confident that the licensing will go through. There is still a process to go through. There is still a finalisation of the consultation process to be done with the authorities on that, but that is all, hopefully all moving in the right direction, and we'll see that those licenses issued in due course.
Right. Okay. And I don't mean to dismiss the fact that you kind of got steady state production and looking like you're hitting guidance. That in this environment, that's very, very positive. But it's also a high gold price environment. So people are looking to companies like you to improve margins and want to understand what you're focusing on to be able to deliver that. So I guess the license is key. I mean, so let's talk about what that will allow you to do and what that will allow you to focus your dollars on.
Well, I think we've always said that Coringa is the key to growth for the company going forward. And we still see that as very important. Palito has been very much in a steady state of production, sustainable production levels for a number of years now. But Coringa is where the growth opportunity comes from, the ability to double the production and get ourselves up to the sort of 50,000, 60,000 ounce mark in the next couple of years. And with that increase in production, we would expect to see further reduction in the AISC just by being able to spread some of those costs, the basic fixed costs of the business across a wider number of ounces.
Right. And with the aim of obviously reducing that AISC, further increasing margin, further with increased ounces. I get that, but I guess it's been a while. We've been talking about it for a while. So the Indigenous Communities Agreement is a big deal. Have you got a sort of sense of how that advances? Are there any other impediments to the license being issued? Any more hoops to jump through for you?
No, I think we've gone through. We've got good arrangements and relationships in place with the key government authorities. And all those other processes that we need to do, those hoops that need to be jumped through, the steps that those agencies need to take. They're very well aware of exactly what the timelines need to be, and they're working very closely with us to achieve all of those.
Okay, understood. And with regards to, obviously with Palito, you said we talked about steady state, but is there a kind of blue sky on that whilst you're waiting to be able to kind of get after Coringa properly?
I think Palito has always been hugely encouraging for us. We've always had an excellent record there of being able to replenish the resources on that prospect. We've identified over the years increasing numbers of veins. I can't say at this moment. Next time you speak to Mike, you'll have to follow him up on those technical aspects of it. I very much see Palito as in a steady state. It will continue to push out 25, 30,000 ounces a year for as long as we're going to be around, and as long as our investor community are going to be around us, because it just keeps performing. We keep finding extensions, we keep finding new veins, and it'll be one of those I believe it'll be one of those long-term producers. But I can't see an option for really expanding that at this moment in time.
Okay, well, look, I guess the good news is you're not cash constrained and you are able to get on with the business of developing the business. So let's talk about one aspect of developing the business, which is this exploration alliance that you formed with Vale back in May. We haven't had a chance to catch up since then. So yes, there's $1 million involved. What does that allow them to do? What's the purpose of this JV? Who gets what?
Well, the long-term focus of that is clearly for Vale is to identify large-scale copper projects within our tenement area, and that's the tenement area around the Palito, San Chico, Matilda areas that we've got, 50,000 hectares there or thereabouts. The focus in this phase one, they're going to put up to $5 million into the exploration fund, and that really is a lot of what our guys would refer to as scout drilling activity. 15,000 meter drill program was anticipating for that, which is a fair amount of work. We've got 3 rigs operational. The key prospect for them was what we referred to as Matilda, which was looked to be a copper porphyry, and that still seems to be the signs from the results that we're seeing and the drilling sections that we've got. But at the same time, they're doing drilling over a number of the other prospects, some of which are principally gold. And so the benefit of that for us is that that's essentially free exploration on the gold tenements and the gold interests that we've got, because the gold stays with Serabi, and it's only the copper interest that the Vale are interested in.
So sorry, how do I understand that? So they're after copper. Great, good news. When you say the gold stays with you, so if they find gold as part of their copper exploration, you get the financial benefit of that, or you get to include those ounces in your resources? And what happens when, let's blue sky this, it goes into production? How does all that work?
How does all that work? Essentially, a copper project will be that by financial value, it will be principally a copper deposit. In that instance, it will go into the alliance. If we happen to identify other gold prospects through the exploration work that we're doing, and they are by value principally gold prospects, they will be outside of the alliance, and they will continue to be 100% owned by Serabi. So it'll only be those prospects which are principally copper by value that will go into the alliance in the long term. Everything at the moment is 100%. Still, the tenements are still 100% in the name of Serabi, and will stay there until such time as Vale wants to exercise an option over a particular area.
Right. So you've already received $1 million, you said? So
we had the first 2 quarters funding already into our bank account. Yeah.
Right, and that's basically from the exploration program which you're managing on their behalf.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. So. And who decides where you drill? Because obviously, the benefit to you is if you find gold, they want you to find copper. So how do you agree those targets?
There is a working committee, but right at the very outset when we went into this, there was those 15,000 meter that 15,000 meter drill program was planned out and agreed at the outset as to where it would be targeted and how it would be prioritized and where the money would be spent. And we very much followed that program from the start. So there is a working committee. It meets every month, and there are obviously ongoing discussions on a weekly basis as to what's happening to. But it's generally what should we say, a consensual arrangement on that and where the priorities lie.
Right. Okay. And right. So you're the finance guy. You're the numbers guy. You're obviously pleased with the kind of steadying the ship after a kind of rocky 2 years in the market for gold juniors, and you boosting the kind of the cash reserves on the balance sheet too, well, in the bank as well. What are you seeing as the most important things for the company to do for the rest of this year, the second half of this year and into next? I mean, if you in priority order, what's the most important thing that you think or think that the company needs to deliver?
Well, I think for me, the first thing to deliver is consistency. And no surprises. So if we can achieve steady state production, we can continue to keep our cost base in a similar position and drive forward the cash generation. That'll be an important move for the next 6 months to reassure investors this is not sort of a flash in the pan type situation, that we are in very much a steady state now and moving forward. I think for investors, and in terms of pushing the share price back up to where we think it should be, then clearly unlocking the licensing on Coringa, I think, is really going to be the key issue there. I'm sure that's what most people are sitting there waiting to see, and I hope that is really what starts to unlock and move the share price forward going to the end of 2023 over 2024.
Right. Okay. So and there's nothing that you're seeing now gives you cause to believe that you won't get that license. So people waiting around for that license is fair enough, because from what you said, that could potentially double the ounces and increase the margin that you're making. So you were comfortable with the way that's gone so far?
Yes, I think we've always been comfortable that those licenses are going to come. We can't always anticipate some of the issues that have been thrown our way, but I think what we're seeing at the moment is certainly giving us great confidence that's going to come through it, getting all the cooperation that we need.